Oh, hi. I was looking for a funny joke. Can you tell me where to find it? What is up, guys? It's Man Cheap Man here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing book haul 16 or 17, probably 16, because I'm going to combine that holiday haul into one two-part video. So pretty much my holiday haul was book haul 15, and this is book haul 16. So yay. What I'm going to be doing is just showing off a ton of books that I got post-Christmas, so yeah, I just really have nothing else to say. This is my third video that I'm recording in one day, and I've already uploaded one of them, and I'm going to upload one on Tuesday. So hopefully this one should be up on Thursday or Friday. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. Alright, so the first book that I have is Zoe's Tale by John Scalzi. This is the fourth book in the Old Man's War series. And tell me if I talked about any of these books before, like, not talked about it, but like showed these copies off. But Zoe's Tale is probably my second least favorite in the series, yet I still gave it a 4 out of 5. This series is absolutely phenomenal, guys. Like, I love the Old Man's War series, but you guys would probably but I've been talking about it for the past 2 months, so hey, I love the series, so I highly recommend it. Alright, the next book is from an author who I realized that I don't buy much of. Like, even though I really should own the majority of this guy's books, I only own like 4 or 5 of his books. I mean, this is probably like the 5th or 6th one, and that is Haruki Murakami's Karo Sakuru's Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage. I love this book. This is one of my favorite Murakami novels. It's like up there with Kafka on the Shore and The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle. But at the same time, I just feel like that his books are so expensive in America. Like one of these things, even at the cheapest, I never find these in thrift stores. I never find them cheap anywhere. And the cheapest I could possibly get them is on Amazon for $10 each. I'm not going to drop $10 to $11 each on a book on an author. And even though I love Haruki Murakami, I went through that with Kurt Vonnegut, and it sucked the money out of me. So I don't know if I'm gonna get Sputnik Sweetheart and 1Q84 and After Dark, and that's it. I'm just gonna stop. I don't need to own everything the man wrote. So yeah. But I love Haruki Murakami. This is one of my favorite books of this year so far, so yeah. Alright, the next book is a book that I tried but just couldn't get into. I'm going to get into it later, and that is Michael Chabon's The Yiddish Policeman's Union. This, I was expecting so much of a thrill for, but I got like 30, 50 pages into it, and it was just nothing so far. So I put it down, and there was another Michael Chabon book that was the same way that I put down. But this one, I didn't spend much money on. I spent for like $10, which is kind of expensive for a book for me because I've been spoiled by thrift stores and library bookstores. But this one is just not for me. It just wasn't like amazing or anything. It just wasn't for me, like how The Mysteries of Pittsburgh and Cavalier and Clay were. But I hope when I get back to it, I do eventually like it. So yeah. Okay, mini review. I've been wanting to get into short stories. So I decided to pick up this collection. It is now my favorite short story collection of all time. I took the gamble and bought this, and now it's just masterful, and it's the first short story collection I've ever given a 5 out of 5 to, because of just how much it's impacted me over the past 2 days, but still, it's just been phenomenal. It's Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang. Oh my god. What this man writes, the way that he conveys his messages through science fiction that's written like literary fiction. Like, this is science fiction, technically, because there's like the main story of your life, is literally about this this woman who like studies languages, and she's given on board to study the language, and she's sent on board like this top secret mission to discover the languages of like, the language of this weird alien species called the heptapods. But this was an amazing collection. And Story of Your Life wasn't even my favorite story out of here. That title goes probably to Understand. If you haven't read Understand, I'm not even going to say the premise. Just read it. Just read it. It's better if you don't know anything about it. It is potentially my new favorite short story of all time. I love it to death. And Stories of Your Life is just, all the stories in here work. And they all work. Some work better than others, but they all are at least 3.5 stars or above. And for me, that's enough to give a collection a 5 out of 5 to, because there's at least, in short story collections, there's at least like 2 or 3 that are just bleh and pointless. But every story has meaning to it and depth to it. It's just phenomenal. And at first I'm like, how can this man write so much? But then I realized, I went online. He hasn't written much. He's written this collection and like 3 or 4 other short stories. And he's been writing for like 20 years. So really, that's it. But I'm going to try to dive into the rest of his stories. I'm going to try to find them online. And yeah, I love this. Absolutely love this. Alright, the next book is something that I got randomly, and it was my first ever arc. I never got arcs in my entire life, and I just got this one randomly. And it's a YA novel, and usually I don't like YA novels, but I sat down and read this, and it was pretty enjoyable. And that was Waste of Space by Gina D'Amico. I saw some of the other stuff that Gina D'Amico wrote, and it just didn't sound interesting. It sounded like stereotypical YA fantasy. So I was kind of skeptical on going into this. And yeah, the writing is very YA, but it's a good story, and it's brilliant satire. I was surprised on how well this satirizes reality TV and like the whole stupid nature of it trying to make as much money as possible. I really like that, but honestly, I don't think, like, I'm going to continue with the program that's going on with this book. Like, I get a free arc each month. So that's going to be awesome. But I don't think I'm going to, like, go out of my way and get any other arcs like this, because the only way that I could potentially get arcs are YA arcs. And unless if they sound really interesting to me, I'm just not going to be that interested, so... But Waste of Space was good. I do recommend this one. And finally, for the first pile, I have Michael Chabon's Moonglow. This was the other Michael Chabon book that I just couldn't get into. I got, like, 100 pages into this one, and it just bored me. So, I don't know if I'm actually going to get back to this one because it's just so boring in the first 100 pages. Trying to convince me to get back to it, but as of right now, I'm just done with it. Alright, and then I got a few other books, and then that'll be it for the video, and hopefully it for the recordings of the day, because I feel like my voice is getting a lot softer, and that's not a good thing. So, first of all, there's Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. Now, I've heard a lot about Sarah Waters. I've heard she's kind of like a fusion between, like, Charles Dickens and Donna Tartt, and... Oh my god, that sounds amazing. But it's not really... But this book is at least a fusion between Donna Tartt and, Charles Dickens, because it's like, it has, like, kind of like a premise, like, what's it called, The Secret History, but it's set in, like, Victorian England, and it sounds awesome. It's a pretty chunky book, but I got it for, like, $1 at the library bookstore, because they were having, like, a clearance sale, so why not pick this up? It sounds awesome. Alright, the next book that I also got for, like, $1.50, was Night Film by Marisha Pessel, and there's, like, a little dirt on the side, but I don't care, I can probably wipe that off. But Night Film, I tried to read Special Topics in Calamity Physics, which is by the same author, and I just couldn't get into it. I really just couldn't, like, get into its groove or the voice of the the main character's voice. But this one sounds a lot better. It sounds like more of a murder mystery, but it sounds like something more up my alley. So, yeah, I wanted to get into Marisha Pessel, but her first book just wasn't for me, so I'm going to give this one a shot, and I really should because I own the book now, but you know what, this was originally a book that I wasn't going to buy or even read, but you know what, I'll give it a shot, why not? Alright, the next book is an old classic, like, this was, like, even before, like, this is, like, 1830s old, and that is The Red and the Black by Stendhal? I don't know how to pronounce that name, I think that's how you pronounce it, but this is a pretty chunky book as well. It's a beautiful, this is a gorgeous modern library edition, and I got this for $2. That is absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to get into this, but it's going to be a while because I'm just not in a classics mode right now. I'm going to be reading Anna Karenina next month, so that'll be enough classics for me right now, but hopefully this is good. I hope when I get around to that, that'll be good. Alright, the second to last book that I have is Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein. I know, for how famous this book is, I know nothing about this book. All I know is that it's really short. It has to do something with, like some tale about, like this thing called the orphan train, where they take orphans and send them away to a new home. But other than that, I know absolutely nothing about this book, and I don't even know what I know is right. So, you know what? I'll just hop right into it and see what it is. So, yeah. And then the final book that I have is You by Caroline Kepnes. Now, I got this at Books A Million, which I usually hate Books A Million, but I've come to found, like, a new recognition for Books A Million because their clearance section, like, their bargain section is gold. It's absolute gold, and they can be even cheaper than the Barnes & Noble bargain section, which is usually trash. But the Books A Million bargain section is glorious. I found, like, Margaret Atwood there, Stephen King was there, who else was there? Stieg Larsson was there. There was loads of great books there, but this was the one that caught my attention because I've heard a lot of things about this book. I heard that Kate over at Kate File liked this book. So, yeah, I think this is about, like, some stalker or something, and it's told, like, and it's kind of also told somewhat in the second perspective, which is why it's called You. But, you know, it sounds good. It sounds really good, and I've just been trying to get into more good thrillers, and this one just sounds really good, so yeah. So that was the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you guys thought about this video, and as always, I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.